Hello, I'm Marion. I'm Marion Money, and I'm delighted to have this opportunity to introduce myself to you. Principally, I'm a landlord. I've been a landlord since 1974, and the majority of that time I have been self-managing. As you can imagine, I've got buckets of experience, but in the early days, I had some horror stories. Maybe that was naivety. That was the state of the private rented sector back in the middle 70s, running into the 80s. But I found the Small Landlords Association an invaluable resource. And the SLA developed into the NLA, the National Landlords Association, and now with the National Residential Landlords Association following the merger with the RLA. I stayed a member. I still use the advice line. I still rely on the forms and the information that I'm able to obtain from the NRLA website. I found the whole experience of working with the Landlords Association so valuable that I joined and started working with them in 2007, very much on a part-time basis, and my role has developed over the years from working with the local authorities, introducing them to landlords. And I can remember one local authority saying to me, "That's the first time I've ever met a good landlord." So I feel now that the local authorities have a lot better and a more positive experience working with landlords, and hopefully the landlords are now finding that it's a lot easier to talk to the local authority representatives as well. Part of my role with working with landlords and the private rented sector in Kent is to sit on the Kent Housing Group. The Kent Housing Group has representations from the 12 local authorities plus Medway Council, and is a discussion point and policy making point for everything to do with housing in Kent. My role is to be the voice of the private rented sector. My principal area that I cover working with the NRLA is Kent, and during this time I organise local meetings. I'm delighted we're now back to what I would call normal face-to-face meetings, where we're able to come and network with fellow landlords and meet and hear from principal speakers that I've been able to invite. Normally these are topical speakers depending on what is happening in the private rented sector. It might be following the budget, and we have an accountant. At this time, with rising interest rates, mortgage brokers are it's very good to be able to listen to mortgage brokers. But also, I enjoy sharing with you my experiences, the legislative updates that is so important for you to keep up with. So how do you know about these local meetings? Well, top tip, look out for your Saturday What's On emails and have a little scroll to the bottom, and there you'll find all the local meetings advertised. But also, it's all the meetings will be on the website. Look for the banner for events. You can then filter for South East, and that will come up with all the local meetings in the South East area. So I look forward and welcome the opportunity to meet you at the forthcoming events. Do come and say hello, and thank you for listening to me.